Hi, this is Sue with Creations by Sue, and I am going to stitch this design onto a little girl's t-shirt on the Redline 1501. I did this applique cutout on the Brothers Scan and Cut and had demoed that in a previous video. And now on this video I'll be stitching out the design and showing you how I put those applique pieces onto the design. So to start, I have the design printed out in Embroidered Essentials, and I made sure to center it on the shirt, and I have it all set to go. So I'll be removing that paper and starting the stitch out here. What I'll do is show you the three once it is stitched. Here is this shirt with the number 3 embroidered onto it. This is the outline stitch, and I'll be putting the 3 that I have cut out with the Scan and Cut onto this. I have some Heat and Bond Light ironed onto the back of that 3 so that it will adhere to the shirt when I iron it. So I'll go ahead and place that on here. And then I'm going to press it with this iron, so I kind of press each area. I don't run it back and forth because that might distort the 3, stretch it out, the fabric. So it's looking good, nice and flat. I'm also making sure there's no stitch lines showing. I can see right here, this is a little close to the edge of the stitch line, but it should be okay. All right, and then the next thing I'll do is take it back to the machine, and it'll stitch a stitch all around here to hold the 3 on, and then it will stitch a satin stitch around that. For the flamingo body, I decided to use this spray on the back to attach it to the design before, and then I'll stitch out the single stitch that'll go over the whole flamingo to hold it down, and then I will iron it. Because with number 3, I found that there were a couple areas I had to trim, and it was difficult because the Heat and Bond was holding it onto the shirt, so I really had to work to get it up a bit to be able to trim it. So, and the reason I'm saying this with this design, the satin stitch she used is a little thinner than some that I've done in the past most recently. When the satin stitch is wider, it works well to go ahead and iron down right away because there's extra room for that any kind of hanging fabric that's going over your stitch line. Whereas when you have a thinner satin stitch such as this one, the KKK 2000 is a safer way to go. It'll make your job easier. I do like that this designer left open these areas where there's going to be stitching over it, and the same was behind this the flamingo too. And I do like that because some designers will have the satin stitch all the way around whether or not there's something going over it. So good. It's a good design overall. I'm happy with it so far, but just wanted to give you that tip. All right, I'll go ahead and stitch this and show you the next step. Here it is with that stitch line, and you can see that I'm going to have to trim around the head and a little bit around the neck, and I'll even trim some on the back so I can get it as close as I can for the satin stitch. So good that I used the spray instead of ironing down the Heat and Bond right away. Once I get it trimmed, then I'll go ahead and iron it down before I put the satin stitch on. The design is now trimmed, and I went ahead and pressed it, so I will take it to the machine and stitch the rest of it, and I will show you the finished product. Here is the finished design, and I think the recipient is going to love wearing this. All I have yet to do is trim away the mesh stabilizer from the back. I did also fuse a fusible mesh on first, and then I added this second. I'll also iron some soft touch from Sulky onto the back to keep the embroidery from scratching the little girl. when she wears it. And otherwise, yeah, it looks good and ready to go. So I guess I'll also be ironing out these creases. I'll put some water on those and then I'll iron that out, and then I'll gift this to her. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I thank you for watching, and be sure to press the subscribe button to be notified of future videos. And one fun little thing I didn't tell you or neglected to tell you was that this thread here is glow in the dark for the number 3. So at night in the dark, the 3 will glow for her, which will be fun. All right, happy stitching. Bye.